Welcome to Coding Locker, guys. This is Shankar Shwaryani, and in today's video, we will understand what is the difference between a class-based component and a functional component, and we will see practically. Now, how we will see practically, if you are already following a playlist, basically this is a playlist in what we are trying to understand React full course for beginners, right? So in what we have so far created so many components, the functional components we created class level component. We also see that how we can manage the state in the class level, and how do we manage the state in the functional level. This is what we have seen. How do we access the properties? How do we manage state? All of these we have seen. Now this is the time in what we need to figure out the differences, like at what time you should go for the class based component and at what time you should go for the functional component. So let me begin with the first difference. Okay, so the first difference is that whenever you are creating a class level component, always you need to extend the component, right? But if you are creating a functional component, in that case, you do not need to extend the component. Rather, you can directly make use of the props. Let's see with an example. So this is app.js, which is our class level component, and this is the employee.js, which is our function level component. So you can clearly see that this is extending the components, whereas employee is not extending the component directly. It is using these props. So that's the one difference. Now let's focus to the next difference, which is access state. So one thing about React is that when React started in early stage, so state accessing state was possible only in the class based components. It was really easy to access the state, and it was not possible in the functional component, and that was the major difference between, that used to be the major difference between the class level and the functional level components. But I think after the 16.8 React.js upgradation, now we can also use the state. We can also manage the state in the React in the functional component as well. But in that case, you have to make use of this use state property, use state React hook. And if you remember, it was, I think, part fifth or part six, where we have explained or added the updated this functional component to make use of the user state property, and we have seen how we can manage the state. Although I have removed the code, because the thing is that it is recommended that whenever we are managing a state, it is we should be doing in the class level, although we can do in the functional level as well. So that's the one thing. Of course, there are so many scenarios you will see yourself writing state management in the functional level as well. That's not an issue. Use of this. So for the class based component, you have to make use of this whenever you are trying to access props, whenever you are trying to access the state management, anything. But in case of functional component, you cannot, you actually do not need to use this property. Again, let's figure out in the code. See, this is our functional one. Here I'm directly using this props.name, props.exp, whatever the parameter name is. But in the app.js, if you see that, and whenever I'm trying to access this state, I have to use this. Right now I do not have any property available, right? I do not have. But in case, even if I have any property, that also needs to be used with this keyword directly. It cannot be used. That's the third difference in this. Lifecycle hooks we will cover in later part. We do not have any example in the code, but yes, this is possible in the class based component, and that is yet not possible in the functional components. Next is how to decide how you figure out that which component you should create. The first difference is, if you want to use the state without React hooks, right? In the functional component, you have to make use of this React hook in order to manage the state, the user state thing. So in that case, if you do not want to go with that React hook, then simply go for the class-based component. Also, for the lifecycle hooks, if it is mandatory for you at certain scenarios, then we will definitely would go for the class-based component. Otherwise, we will always go with the functional component. This functional component, that's one more thing about these. So I think I have discussed about earlier as well, but that's an important thing, that whenever you see any of the component, who is managing state, like this app component is managing state. If you see this functional component, it is not managing any state. So this is called our stateful component. So this is your stateful component, right? This is your smart component, which is managing your state. Employee.js, who is not managing the state, that is why it is called the stateless component. Now it is said for the functional components or for the components. Yeah, before this, one more update. You cannot say that this is a functional component, that's why it is not managing state, that's why it's stateless. Even though if this functional component is making use of the state using the use state property. If you remember that using the instead of this, we have seen in previous, we were using this use state, right? So even with this use state, if this functional component is managing the state, then it will be called as a stateful component, not a stateless component. So the thing is, we should try to keep as less as possible stateful components. That means wherever you are managing the state, this should be less. So this is our app component, right? So in your application, it would be really easy to manage, easy to maintain, that you know that who are responsible basically for managing the state. But if you allow all the components to manage the state, that would become really difficult for you to identify that who is causing a problem in case if any problem occurs. So that's one recommendation. Second, the functional components, try to keep, they are called as a presentational component, so try to create as many as functional component, this stateless component, right? So you should just get rid of these state if it is not required, and even if it is required, then combine so many files, and then there would be a, any generic component who would be actually modifying the state on behalf of other 10 maybe components. So try to write as less as possible components who are actually managing the state. So these are the two things which you need to keep in your mind. So that is all for this tutorial, the functional and the component difference. And again, from the next part, I'll continue with the same project. So I just wanted to give an update that I have modified something. And again, as per the recommendation, I am going, so I have modified my code. So if you just, if you already have my code, then you can compare. So there were 3 or 4 methods, right? Like toggle with, not the toggle one, the update handler, the name handler, I have removed those. And then I have changed here a bit code as well. So what I have done, so it is recommended that if we are writing a component, so there will be so many components in your React application. So it doesn't looks good if you keep creating components here. So rather create a folder. So I have created a components folder. Inside that, you create your components. So like I have created this employee one, then the home one, and XYZ, whatever the components you create. So this looks little beautify with this. Again, app.css, app.js, and app.test.js, I have moved into the container and I have corrected the path for them. Another update what I have done for this is that we have seen that we were earlier using just employee here, but now this time I'm using this employees collection, and that is pretty right, because let me open this employee one. So you would see this one, the parent one. So we were doing this such kind of mapping. We were fetching all the employees, adding an array, then after that we will actually writing one by one the employee one. So app.js was responsible for doing such thing, but as I said, we should clean this app component as much as we can. So we should separate out the things which are practically possible. Similarly, at the bottom we have seen there were a lot more code were written, so I have removed this and moved this code here as well. So now this look bit clean, that there is just an app component which has couple of methods. Then we have render method, and based on some condition it is rendering the employees, and at last we have something written and we are printing the employees. There is a home component which is again writing some sort of HTML. So this is the cleaning of code what I have done. If you want to do it from here, like after watching the code, that is fine, because there are really less changes I have made. But if you want to get exact copy of this, then I'll be uploading the same code in the GitHub location. I'll share the link in the video as well for this one, so you can directly get the code from there. So that is all I have for today. Hope you guys understood the difference between these two, and yeah, that's all I have. Thank you for being at Coding Locker, and please guys do subscribe Coding Locker. That is really important, so that it gives me the motivation to create more videos for you. If I have missed any of the major component of React, kindly let me know so that I can create videos on that as well. Thank you for being at Coding Locker, guys. Have a nice day. See you in the next.